Adrianne, Julia, good to see you both. Thanks so much for your time.
Thanks for having us.
Adrianne, this is your third time on the show, which is pretty crazy. So
Which is insane.
I feel like I have to get you like a mug or a jacket or something. You're a three-time guest.
Okay, I'm fine with that.
I'll send you her address later.
Texas Cult House, congratulations. Julia, I want to know because, storytelling is so, especially indie filmmaking, it's so kind of thrown in and you kind of wear many hats and everything. But were you able to kind of, especially when you went to camera, were you able to separate the writer versus director kind of component of this, or did it feel like one big hat throughout the filming?
It was hard because we were filming so fast and we had to rewrite. One day we had to kind of rewrite the scene and that whole day because of some things that came up. So it was tricky, but I did try and let go of the writer as much as I could.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, indie filmmaking too, that's just kind of like what you just said, I feel like is a standard in indie filmmaking. Let's be honest.
I know.
To go with the flow mentality for
absolutely. Sure. I kind of want to know though, Adrianne, like getting the script for this, because we were talking before we started in like these famous kind of pre-interviews, I guess, where like, see, that's where we could talk about the spoilers, not in the interview.
Right.
But like,
exactly.
no, but it's like, it's interesting, right? Because you're reading these scripts and like, then you're going to go to camera and you can kind of picture it as much as you can in your mind of what it's going to look like. But like, what was it like reading this script and then actually like getting there and kind of seeing it come to life, like that script to screen journey, like with this one specifically?
Well, Julie and I are very, very, very good friends. And I remember her sitting in my kitchen talking to me about this movie. And I wanted to be a part of it. And, anything that she does, I want to be a part of. So it was weird. I feel like I was part of like there during the conception. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. For sure.
To the evolution of it. So I kind of already felt like I was a part of it. I kind of saw it in my head and I just trust her implicitly. So.
Well, and Adrianne had a couple suggestions. I remember on the script, there's a few lines that I changed or that I added. And whenever I hear them, I'm like, oh, that was you. So I really like to be collaborative. I don't know everything. I don't know a lot of things. So, that's why filmmaking is such an amazing art form, because you're not by yourself. And you have to trust the actors and you have to trust the DP and, also that all the departments come together to make a film, make a beautiful story.
Absolutely. And especially in India, I feel like it's even more important to work with your friends and people that you know and care about, because you also know what you're getting with limited time.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. I'm curious because like Julian, when you were writing this, was there a specific kind of like genre you were going for? Because obviously I think like it's like it's thriller components, but it's like I kind of like in the best way possible was like there's this genre bending component of this where sometimes I like don't know what the genre is of it. You know what I mean? But I'm wondering, like, were you kind of set out to write a thriller? Like, I'm just curious about that.
Are you ready? Are you ready for the new genre that I have started?
Yes, I am.
It's called thoughtful horror.
Interesting.
It's so good.
When we premiered at Austin Film Festival, I said it like from the stage. I was like, I know everyone's going to laugh at me, but that's kind of what I wanted to do. And throughout the festival, people came up to me and they're like, "Are you the one doing thoughtful horror?" And I was like, "Yeah."
So now you have to be like the thoughtful horror filmmaker. Like all your films have to be that now.
Yes, and actually, I wrote the story with my cousin's son, who came out in a very restrictive environment, Zach Raber. And one of the things I wanted to do was wanted the lead character to be a queer character that came out, and also. I see like on TV, a lot of queer characters, once they come out, they kind of leave their faith or especially if they haven't been treated well by their religion. And I have a lot of friends who have held on to a measure of their faith. And so I kind of wanted just to put a little bit of that in there. And so we wrote that part together.
No, absolutely. But it's interesting, right? Because you mentioned like Austin Film Festival. I mean, the especially with like indie films, because it's so like there's so much going on and like it's like long hours and everything, and then that final moment where like people get to see it on the big screen, right? And then you're just thinking about like everything that kind of went to it. Like I'm just curious for you, Adrianne, like what's that like for you, maybe with indie films compared to like bigger projects, but like is it just a surreal feeling sometimes to like finally see these like indie projects on the big screen for you? Like, I'm just wondering about that.
Absolutely. I think it's always fun to watch everything come to fruition and, it just be surprised by it. But, I love this movie. I think it's great. I think it's weirdly a family movie, and, it's a love story between a mother and her children, and between two siblings.
Mhm.
So it's really fun to also see whatever Julia does.
No, absolutely. Um, I want to kind of throw this out there to both of you, and like, I think it's a bit different for the actors, because actors are in the zone and they're trying not to think about certain things. But it's like, and Julia, maybe you obviously are maybe thinking about the audience, especially from the writing stage perspective. But like, when does the audience come into play for you both with the creation of this film? Like, thinking about the audience reactions. Like, does it happen a lot like while you're making it? Does it happen more in post production, Julia? Like, I'm just curious about that, because for me, I'm always thinking of the audience, even when I'm like on set. But like, I feel like maybe I shouldn't be. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, we have to be. I think it's throughout the whole process.
Yeah.
And even with some of the practical effects that are part of this, part of the horror, like really making sure that we stay true to that too, so that horror fans get excited about that. So there's like all the different elements that you wanna keep real.
Mm-hmm. Adrianne, do you ever think about the audience while you're making something?
I try not to, just because I'm an actor and like it takes me out of being in the moment, and I feel like, if I'm thinking about that, then I'm not worrying about the character, or thinking about what's honest in the moment.
Are there ever any moments at like base camp wrapping a day, or like at lunch, where you go to someone and you're like, oh, the people are going to lose their mind about this scene? Like, does that ever happen, or not? Not even?
Oh, definitely,
Okay,
for
yeah.
sure. Post after shooting something. I've definitely had those moments multiple times, but
Yeah.
in the course of actually shooting something, I try not to.
Well, I don't think there's time.
Try to leave other people out of it.
But I also don't feel like there's time too, right? Especially an indie film, right? Julia
Right.
will know it's like
That's
you
true.
don't have that many takes.
You got to come prepared.
Absolutely. Adrianne, how separate are past things, like a past projects you've done, compared to something like Texas Cult House? Like, obviously you're bringing yourself and your experiences to project, but are they completely like separate once you wrap them, or do you bring kind of mindsets or preparations from past characters or projects to something like this?
I don't think you ever really let go of, certain characters, and, you have to bring an element of yourself. But there are definitely specific characters like Tyra from Friday Night Lights that I really like. She's still inside of me, man. And so, and I'm weirdly a mama bear. So as much as I'm not an actual mother to human children, furry child, I am. I felt like I could, I felt confident that I could pull off playing a mom in this, especially, with Julia's guidance. And, I try to bring myself to most characters.
Do you
maybe not Miss Perkins?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I was about to say, okay, this is so random right now. And I remember I have to bring this up because you've worked on a lot of amazing projects, okay? But there was one time I remember there was a trailer for something that came up on YouTube. And it was for a pilot. That I don't think the whole show went on. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about right now. But I'm pretty sure. Do you remember like the Aquaman pilot?
Oh yeah, we shot it.
Yeah. That trailer was on, and I remember like doing an interview of you for something for Orville, and then that trailer coming up, and I'm like, wait a second, is that you?
It was. And like for iTunes, they actually released the pilot itself.
Wow, crazy. But I remember that vividly because we did the Orville interview, and then that came up. That is kind of crazy, right? That's random.
It is.
Yeah.
That is random.
I remember it was the day after. But there is a question there. It's not like a random thing. It's like the resurfacing of content, right? Like, I'm wondering if that's something like, and Julia, I want you to chime in afterwards too, because I get kind of inspiration. I get reminded of certain things, and then I go to the drawing board. Like, what do you think about this kind of resurfacing of like, clips, like this clip culture we're in right now, where certain things kind of re-show up and like people talk about it, say, oh, I would love to see something like this again. Like, Adrianne, do you think about that at all? Like, it's interesting to think about. It's scary, but it's interesting.
Well, I mean, I think the clips coming up, that's kind of the point, right? We
Yeah.
want to do stuff that, people want to see over and over again,
Mhm.
and maybe do forget about, but then, they see a clip of it and they're like, oh my God, I haven't seen that. Let's do it. I think that's important actually for us.
Yeah, absolutely. Julia?
Definitely, you never know when your movie is going to 10 years later hit another audience or another group, another age group, and all of a sudden it's popular again. So I think for a creator, that's an amazing thing.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And
For sure.
Julia, I kind of want to add because, you're going to look at a film like Texas Cartels and like there's going to be like you're going to have conversations with people and like there's going to be reception from the film and people are going to say they really like certain elements and certain things, let's say. I'm wondering what, like, from your kind of career as a filmmaker, there's this kind of goal of you want to make projects that you want to make that will be the best of your ability to like tell your story and showcase your ability to tell stories. But then we also like, we're making it for the audience, right? So there's gonna be certain things in this film that are gonna hit hard that people enjoy. You're gonna see in the comments. Like, what's that balance like for you as a filmmaker, where like you want to do what works, but you also want to make the stories you want to make? Like, I'm curious about that for you.
Yeah, I mean, that is tricky, but as an independent filmmaker, we only have such, like, our budgets can only be what they can be, right? I can never make a Marvel movie. I mean, unless they hire me to direct it.
I was going to say, don't say never.
Yeah.
Okay, I won't say never. Actually, that's right. I won't. So, but as if it's me as a production company with my producing partner, Mindy, or doing that, then we have to make sure that we're doing something that we know that we can make.
Yep.
But that we love the story and the genre. And so like our next project is Adrianne's going to star in 1989. And that's, again, more of a thriller horror, but probably a much slower burn. I don't know if you want to talk about it. But so we're already like prepping for that, and that's our next project, and we're pretty excited about that.
Yes.
Exciting.
Yes. And
That's
this one
awesome.
I'm actually coming on as a producer as well, which is fun.
Congratulations.
Getting to
That's
work with-
amazing.
Yes.
Getting to work with these two gals is amazing.
No, that's awesome. I can't wait to speak to you both about that one. But I can't wait for people to eventually check out Texas Cult House because I really enjoyed it. It made its festival rounds, like I said, Austin Film Festival, and eventually people are going to be able to watch it. And this interview will be out time to around when they could watch it, which is great. But Julia, Adrianne, great to see you both. Thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. So good to see you again.
Awesome. Well, this has been Popternative, youtube.com/Popternative for previous episodes. Until next time, it's Julia, Adrianne, and Petey Beats signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.